Greetings, Judah. DFG at Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, just want to take a moment and follow up on last night's video message in regards to one particular part of that message, uh, and it was the whole thing around COVID, and just to reemphasize to you, my brothers and my sisters, that COVID, is a true danger to us. A true danger to us. Regardless of what the first outbreak was in the early part of last year, and whether or not we were the main carriers of the virus, even if we didn't know we had the virus. You know, um, in my personal opinion, let me say it a better way. I, for one, questioned it. I most certainly did. I questioned the legitimacy of it. And I'm entitled to question it. Whether or not the science behind it was real or not, I, myself, for me, had questions about the information that was being shared. But I will tell you that over the last couple of months, my thoughts around it has changed now. Not because I was wrong then, but because what's happening now is real. And if you remember, we talked about this last year, that this second rollout in the winter season would be something very, very serious, and something that we would have to, as a people, be very, very careful of. We talked about the importance of dieting. We talked about the importance of exercise. We talked about the importance of getting your proper rest. We talked about the importance of protecting yourself, your physical self, which is your body, your mental self, which comes down to what your brain, really, what you put in your mouth affects your brain, believe it or not. And then, your spiritual self, the relationship that was extremely important that you established with Yah, so that Yah voice could resonate and direct you and direct your paths as we get through, or as he leads us through the wilderness again. And he said that we would go back into slavery. He said that we would be oppressed again. He said that our enemies would attack us from all sides. He said that we would be bondsmen. Woman. He also said that our adversary, Satan, that's First Peter chapter 5, verse 8. He would go around like a lion, looking for any one of our people that he could eat. What does he mean by eat? Take your life away. That's what it means by devour. It means to eat, to kill, to murder you. And I will tell you that when you look at the second outbreak and the death and the mayhem that is starting to cause, I would tell each and every one of you, we were again forewarned through the word of Yah to be on alert, to be aware. Now, let me say this thing to you while I'm thinking about it. Then I'm going to give you some more information, because I do want to follow up on the message in Revelations. And then I want to take you back, to a message from our brother Moses, that he forewarned us of some things too, things that we need to be very careful, and we need to be, we need to be very, very mindful of right now. Okay, so this I will add, to what I just stated in terms of killing us. The more you reach out to Yah, the more you bring forward Yah, the more serious the enemy is going to take you. If the enemy has you encircled, and many of you he has encircled, he's in your hearts, he's in your minds, he's in everything that you do. He's got many of you consumed with the lesser things of life. But when you break through, for those of you who are breaking through, like myself, you better believe he's going to come at you full force, as they say, both guns are blazing. He's going to attack you. And he's going to attack you with everything he can put on you, sicknesses, disease. He's going to put upon you, poverty. He's going to put upon you disillusionment. He's going to put upon you, hatred. He's going to put upon you isolationism, slander, blasphemy, anything that he could do to throw you off, to get you to shut down, to get you to be quiet. Your challenge is going to be, what are you going to do? Are you going to succumb and be manipulated and controlled in your mind by the demon or demons? Or are you going to resist the devil? Are you going to resist Satan? Are you going to resist the zillions of these demons that are out there? Are you going to resist them? It's your decision. It's all of our decision. But let me assure you, Satan's house is not divided. You entertain him, he will take you down that broad path to destruction. Yeshua shared what he said, resist Satan. What that means is that you put him off. When he comes, you push back. He comes, you push back. There's a perfect example of pushing back. Because you can't just push back by just saying, I'm just not going to fall and you're going to fall. I'm just not going to listen. Yes, you are going to listen. I'm just not going to pay. You're a liar and the truth is not in you. You're all going to pay attention to it. Unless you follow the example of Yeshua in chapter 4 in the book of Matthew. Because how he fought back against the enemy is the perfect path and the only way you can fight back against Satan. And how was that? You have to fight back against him with the word of Yah. Let me give you an example, because far too often, we'll share the word, or not share the word, but we'll tell you, okay, go to this book or go to that book. And, sometimes I know some of you guys can get to the book, and I know other times, you can't. All right, but I can. And I'm very busy. I'm a very busy man. My life does not consist of just, being a messenger. Matter of fact, I fight for this time. I literally fight against my own selfishness for this time. Because I choose to be used as a vessel of Yah. It's not convenient. He doesn't make a way for me to do it. I insist on it. I fight through it. And then Yah gives me the grace to come forward and to share this. But it is a struggle and a battle for time, like it is for all of you. Therefore, none of us have an excuse not to be studying. None of us. And if you don't have time or you don't have the book, you definitely have ears to hear. And these messages are right out here available to you to contemplate, to reflect upon, to activate, to walk in, and to inspire you to find the means to get in possession of the word, the sword of Yah. But let me show you how Yeshua fought back. I'm going to take you right quick to Matthew chapter 4. Okay? And here it goes. You ready? He says, then was Yeshua led up to in the Rahuk. And for you guys, some of these where you got to get familiar with. The Bible really should be the book. Rahuk is the spirit. Obviously, Jesus is not the name of our Messiah. And God in reverse dog would never be something that a pure, Elohim would ever be tied in to the same letters of a filthy beast that Yah said the dog was. He described the dog. He said the dog goes back to his own vomit. This thing eats its own vomit, eats its own shit. It just is what it is. In no way Yah would have ever put in the hearts of our forefathers to use the same letters as dog to describe him. That is a lie from the pits of hell. The enemy has planted that seed amongst us, and many of you still regurgitate that filth out of your mouth describing Elohim. You need to repent of it, and it need not happen ever again, my dear brothers and sisters. But anyway, the Rahuk. So Yeshua was led up of the Rahuk into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards hungry. 40 days and 40 nights without eating, you're going to be hungry. You're going to be ready to break bread. And when the tempter came, Satan, the tempter, that verse that many of you are dealing with, that I just mentioned to you, how the enemy comes at you like a lion to destroy you. It's the tempter. It's that temptation, that unction, that urge, that lying spirit that tells you that somehow or another, walking in Yah is the same thing as walking with the cares of this world. That is a flat out misinterpretation of the truth. You're being deceived. And Yeshua warned us, be careful that you be not deceived. Verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if you be the son of Elohim, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, now this is how you fight back, my brothers and sisters. You don't fight back by just using little clever words. You don't fight back by using mind control games. You don't fight back and say, well, I'm just going to get on my knees and pray. No, you have to use the word against the enemy. What word? The word of our Messiah, our Elohim. Our Messiah never spoke anything that Elohim did not tell him to speak. He said that many times. I say nothing but what my Father tell me to say. There's no separation in the words of Yeshua and the words of Yah. But this is what happened. Verse 4. But he answered Satan when Satan said, so you're so hungry, you want something to eat. I know you're starving. You haven't eaten in 40 days. I've been watching you. Now come on. Let's turn these stones into bread. I mean, that is what the word, isn't that what David said? And you will find that in the book of Psalms. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yahuwah. Every word. Where does that word come from? Right out of the book. Now you think that would have been enough to run Satan off. No, see, Satan is like a lion. A lion is going to be very persistent. He's going to keep coming back over and over. The tempter will keep on coming. He's not just going to walk away because you got some word in you or you think you have a relationship with Yah. That's not the nature of a lion. A lion don't care if his prey gets with the herd. He's just going to try to separate that prey from the herd again and again and again until he either succeeds or that herd recognize that one of their own kind is in danger and surround them and chase off the lion. See, that's what the Rahuk will do for you. It will chase it off. But if you have no Rahuk in you, there's nothing to lead you to this. So therefore, you are going to be devolved, eaten alive, inward and outwardly. Let's go on. Verse 5. So that's temptation number 1. Temptation number 2. Then the devil took him up to the holy city and set him on the pinnacle of the temple. And he said unto them, if you be the son of Elohim, cast yourself down. For it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning you, and in their hand they shall bear you up, lest at any time you dash your feet against the stone. That is word of Yah. That's David again. Satan knows the word. Don't get caught up in your preacher say, well, I know my preachers of Yah. He know the Bible like the back of his hand. Does he know the revelation of the word like the back of his hand? Does he have the proper interpretation because the Rahuk is revealing it to him? Because if not, he's nothing but the devil who has transformed himself into a minister of Yah. The Rahuk will reveal to you the meaning of the word. It's not enough just to know the word. You have to know what that word means. You have to know how that word breaks down and how it's applied into your walk, your every moment, your every second that you're here on this earth. If not, again, the tempter will win. So here it is, Satan quoting the scripture again. But what did Yeshua do to fight him off? Yeshua said to him, it is written, you shall not tempt Yahuwah Elohim. Temptation number 3. And again, the devil took him up. See, Satan is going to be persistent, my sister. And that's why I'm bringing this forward for you. Because some of you think, well, once you fight him off once, he's going to leave you alone. No, he's not. No, he is not. No, he is not. You got to fight him back with the sword of the word, or with the sword of the Rahuk, which is the word of Yah. This is a warfare. He's trying to kill you, and you're trying to destroy him. And you don't have the power to do it, my brother or my sister. Yah can only do that. But Yeshua again gave another classic example Again, let's go to the third temptation. And the devil took him into an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the glory of the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And he said unto him, all these things will I give you if you will fall down and worship the beast. How interesting. How many of you guys have heard about these entertainers who are selling their souls for fame and for notoriety? These politicians who have sold their souls for power and influence. These entrepreneurs who have sold their soul for control and domination. This is what they have done to get it, my brothers and my sisters. And I know some of you are saying, oh, that's not true. Look, believe what you want to believe. The scripture tells us that Satan is the God of this world. He has the minimum dominion over the things of this world. Why do you think Yeshua said you cannot serve Yah and money? Because money is a god unto the demon or the satanic class. Am I talking about, Yah bearing, giving you cover and giving you raiment and giving you, provisions? Absolutely not. Those things, he said, when we have those things, he told us that we should be therein contented with raiment and covering. Food and raiment is what he said. Raiment is just covering, whether it be clothing, a place to, to reside, to rest your head. He said, with food and provisions and with protection, we should be contented with that. He never told us that we should seek after the glory of this world. But this is the lie of Satan that he's gone into the church with this prosperity gospel. And many of our people have bought into this lie, and therefore they're being destroyed. But this is how Yeshua dealt with him again. And then Yeshua said to him, get thee hence. For it is written, you shall worship Yahuwah Elohim, and only him shall you serve. Look at that. Matter of fact, I skipped one because we're going to do this right. I'm not giving any room for the devil. None. Okay, so I'm going to take, I said 1, 2. I gave you 4, but I need to give you 3. And he said, if you be the son of Elohim. Now this is how Satan, I bet you ain't no true believer. Because if you're a true believer, you'll tempt Yah. You'll go out there and do anything you want to do because you know Yah gonna give you grace and he gonna wink and he gonna let you off. You don't have to serve, you don't have to obey the commandments of Yah. How many of you have heard that lie? You can eat anything you want to eat because Yah said everything is good for eat long as you pray and bless over it. Lie. Paul said it first of all. And Paul was talking about things that were being sacrificed to devils. And he told the people that those things that were sacrificed unto the devils, that our people didn't have to worry about those things in terms of if they were edible foods, because as long as it was good for the body, then Yah would not judge them, even though the enemy may have been sacrificing them, for things for Satan. Sort of like they kill these babies. That's what he was talking about. And I'll expound on that in another video and give you more information on that. Because that's a lie that many of you have been deceived to think that you can eat these things, pigs and all these different things. And then you wonder why, blacks, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are some of the sickest people on this continent. Yah said that the heathen could eat whatever they wanted to eat because their days were numbered. We were supposed to live for eternity. We were supposed to live 120 years plus. But when we started taking up on the diet of the heathen, who eats anything, crabs and crawfish, all these bottom feeders, filthy animals, dogs and rats, snails, then y'all say, okay, you're going to die to death right along with them. And now, where if they can eat this stuff, and and they're dying proportionally, but we're dying disproportionately. Because we were supposed to stay inside of the dietary laws. But some devil, just like he did with Yeshua, going to tell him, you can just eat, just do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. By the grace of Yah, it's all covered under the blood. That is a flat out lie. It's a lie. More time, it's a lie. Take some time and read Isaiah 66 and see what he says about the difference between a rat that many of you would not dare consume and a pig that most of you are consuming. Oh, a rat is a nasty scavenger. It eats trash and garbage. It eats dead things, including people. Well, guess what, my brothers and sisters? So does a pig. But read it for yourself. Enough of this, debate. I don't have to debate with you. I'm going to let you debate with Yah. Go to Isaiah 66 and read. When you get about 13, 14, tell me, when you get there, let me know. All right? How about that? But again, temptation number 3. And he said to them, if you be the son of Elohim, cast yourself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning you, and in their hand they shall bear you up, lest at any time you dash your feet against the stone. And Yeshua said unto him, it is written, you shall not tempt Elohim. He said, you should not tempt Elohim. And what a lot of us are doing when we go out here and eat and live any kind of way and do all these things that these lying people are telling you, well, by the grace, I can do this, by the grace, by the grace. You are tempting Elohim. They're telling you to tempt Elohim, and you're listening to these devils. And therefore, we're dying disproportionately of AIDS. We're dying disproportionately from diabetes, from high blood pressure, from strokes, from what else? Liver disease, lung disease, cancer, and, mental disease, losing our minds, murder, etc. And now we're the target of the whole world because of our sicknesses. So when I share with you, the enemy is like a roaring lion looking at all of us to see how he can destroy us. The only way you can fight him back, my sisters, my brothers, is you have to study and be inside of the Word. It is the Word that will free you. It is the word that will set you free. It is the Word that will give you the victory over the enemy. But if you don't study the Word, you won't listen to the Word, you won't meditate and reflect on the Word, you're going to die before your time. All of us, there's a point to everyone to die. All of us have a time clock to punch. But some of you guys are going to die untimely deaths. And not only are you going to die untimely death, you're going to die painful deaths. Miserable deaths. Why? Because you reject Yah's word when he tells you that you have an adversary called the devil and all of his demon followers who has gone beyond, above and beyond, like he was trying to do here with Yeshua, with lying truths and wonders, lying signs, not truths, but lying signs and wonders, deceiving the masses of us. That's why 2/3 of Judah or Israel is going to die. They are going to be destroyed. Why? Because they'd much rather sit around and be preoccupied with games, video games, televised games, clubbing, festivals, parades, hell days, abominable days, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, Easter, and all the rest of them in the middle of them. They'd much rather enjoy the things of this world for a short season than to obey Yeshua and receive in return eternal life. But that's their choice. But we have an ancient relative that also gave us another choice. His name was Joshua. And you can read about what he told the people, our people, when they decided that they were going to resist, they were going to rebel, they were going to turn their backs on Yah yet again, and go after the ways of the heathens, taking on the ways of the heathens, because after all, Yah understands. Yah's not, if Yah didn't want me to have it, he wouldn't have created it. What a vicious lie to be telling. But you know what Joshua told Israel? Y'all do whatever the hell y'all want to do. That's what he told them. I tell you, I feel the same way. If you want to keep on letting the devil tear your ass up or tell you a new asshole, keep on playing with it. When he finishes ripping up everything that you love, destroying everything that you could have had, you'll repent then. But it'll be much, much, much too late. But what Joshua told our people, you know what he said? Y'all can go do whatever y'all want to do. But as far as me, I, Joshua, and all of those who are under my covering, who submit themselves unto my household, we're going to serve Yah And that's the end of the conversation. That's Joshua 24 and 15. And Joshua lived to be 110 years old. How ironically. Most of your people ain't getting past 70. Hell, most of them are not getting past 25 now. Why? Because of the curse of the wickedness of you and your parents parents to the fourth, fifth, and sixth generation. Because you reject the word of Yah. You reject the commandments of Yah. You get caught up in the laws of this land. And you put the laws of this land over the laws of Elohim. And you're judged for it. You're going to be destroyed for it. But if you're going to fight back, I just gave you 4 examples. And in all 4 of those examples, it showed how Satan will use the word and material things to throw you, to get you to submit to him. And Yah comes right back and gave the interpretation of his word so that you can resist him. Because right after they resisted him, look what it says. And again, the devil took, this is number 4, I read it before, I'm going to read it again. Again, the devil took him up into an exceeding high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And he said unto him, if you fall down and worship me, you can have all the stuff that you're looking at. He said, I'll give you all of these things because they're mine to give. How about that? And then Yeshua said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship Yahuwah Elohim, and only him will you serve. And then guess what happened after that? After the 4th time, guess what happened after that? When he told Satan to get behind me by using the word, the devil left him, and behold, the angels came and ministered to him. Don't you know that's the same thing that would happen to you, my brothers and sisters? Whatever you're being vexed, whatever you're being tormented with, whatever you're being denied, if it's Yah's will, you apply the word to whatever that is getting in your way, and I can assure you, Yah, Satan's going to keep on coming, but when he realizes that you are strong in the knowledge of Yah, that the Rahuk is a flaming fire around you, he will succumb and he will leave, he will flee. So when the scripture says resist Satan and he will flee, he's talking about that resistance has to be using the word to fight back, not your own judgment, not your own understanding. The scripture tells us, lean not to your own understanding. It says, in all your ways acknowledge Yah, and Yah will direct your path. But that's not the way of Judah. Judah just wants to do it all Judah's way. Judah is high-minded, stiff-necked, arrogant. But then when Judah has to face the consequences of their arrogance, Judah looks for mercy. And Yah said there will be no mercy. You will pay the ultimate price if you continue to reject Yah's commandments, my sisters and my brothers. This is not my words. These are the words of Yah. These are from the commandments of the, it's from our book as a warning to us. Now I'm going to pull you back to Revelations. Because, Yah, all glory to Yah. What can I say? What can I say? Just so you know, the enemy attacked me again today physically. Woke up feeling really, really bad and, real weak. And he tried to put the lie in my mind that maybe you got COVID. But by the end of the afternoon, I was walking out in the sunshine, did a 5-mile walk, and what, quite frankly, I'm a little congested, but I feel much better because I'm going to fight. And of course, I had the word of Yah on all day long as I went through my recovery. And I'm strong again. That wasn't, that was for the, I'm about to say that wasn't for the ladies. It wasn't for no one. It was just showing you I'm strong. I'm not boasting. But that being said, let me take you back to the book of Revelations. Because we talked about that the beast would challenge, would force all of us, his objective would be to force most of mankind to take that mark. All of the heathens going to take it, and many of Judah's going to take it too. Israel going to take it as well. And I talked about, but I never shared with you the consequence of taking that mark. I just shared with you that he was going to force you to do it. Well, go to Revelation chapter 14, my brothers and my sisters. And here it goes. All right, I'm going to start at verse 8. And there followed another angel said, Babylon is fallen. Babel is fallen, that great city. Could he be talking about the West? Could he be talking about United States? Could he be talking about the European states? Saying, it's fallen. Look at it. Is it falling? Did any of you imagine that we would live in the time that we're living in right now? The things that we see, the restrictions that are being forced upon us, the shortages that are coming to us, a government supplement just to keep you going, but never talking about building anything to keep you employed. You haven't noticed that Biden's talking about giving money, but he's not talking about building infrastructure. You know why? Because there aren't going to be any infrastructure built. You're going to become, these nations are going to become welfare states at the hands of the beast. That's why he said you will not be able to buy or sell except you take that mark. And you got people right now, I wonder when Biden's going to send the next. You are a damn fool. You are a condemned fool. Better say it. Praise Yah. But let me go on. Revelation 14, chapter 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babel is fallen, that great city, because she made all the nations drink of the wine of her wrath, of her fornication, all of her idolatry, Catholicism, Protestantism, Hinduism, all Islam, all of these folks, the Pharisees and all these devils who push this fornicating, these alternative gods upon the people, when there's only one true Elohim. And these false religions have taken and led Israel and Judah astray. And then a third angel followed them, saying in a loud voice, if any man worship the beast or his image, or receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, this is what you need to hear, my brothers and sisters. If you go for, put the last night's video with this video, if you want to know what I think that mark is going to be. I think most of us already know. I don't have to say it again. Let's not give the enemy an opportunity to censor us unnecessarily. I think most of you know what that mark is. In other words, it's something that the whole world is going to be forced to take. How about that? And the book says that as well, that the whole world would have to take it. And the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahuwah, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation, and in the presence of his holy angels, in the presence of land. And the smoke of their torment shall ascend forever and ever. Whose smoke? Whose torment that's going to be going on forever and ever? Whose? And he said, they shall have no rest day and night. Who again? Those who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name, whoever gets that mark, whoever takes that mark, whoever go along with that directive or mandate. Now, you got a choice to make. All of us got a choice to make. Remember, 13 said they resist unto death. Some. You're looking at some right here. Are you some? Or are you going to go along with it? You're going to, so you can get the package, so you can get the bag. But the consequence is what I just said. I'm going to read it to you one last time. Go take the bag. But this is what comes along with that bag. They will have no rest day or night who worship the beast and his image. In other words, who are in support of that system, who encourage that system or succumb to that system. And whoever receives the mark of his name. That same mark he talked about over in chapter 13. You will be tormented for eternity. And he says his indignation going to be poured out against you without mixture. In other words, it's going to be hardcore, uncompromising, unmerciful. Now you tell me what you're going to do. I read this to you. I've given this to you. Scripture says, resist the devil, he will flee. But you cannot resist him through mind control. You got to get into the word. You got to profess that word. You got to know that word. You got to believe in that word. Then, and only then, can you resist Satan and force him, as Yeshua did in the Mount of Temptation, to flee, so that the holy angels can come and minister unto you. And that's what he said. When you resist whatever's bothering you, he will heal you once you do that for you. But you got work to do first. It's just not coming because you desire it. None of us is worthy of y'all just coming and giving us something because we desire it. There needs to be an act to go along with your expectation. Knock and the door should be open. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it shall be given unto you. For him that asks it, he will receive it. Him that knock it, it will be open. And him that look it, he shall get. He shall find it. I think I said that right. by the grace of Yah. That's all I got for you tonight. Yah took me in another direction again, brothers and sisters. So be it. Praise Yah. Have a good evening. Talk to you on tomorrow. Bye now. Yah willing.